Hey, this is AJ with HBC Elite, and a couple people have sent in requests asking me, can you really give us a breakdown of what a PESTEL analysis is? Well, first of all, if you're in business, you're always looking for the opportunity to expand your business or create a new business. Um, Oftentimes, new businesses come about from what is called a disruption in the market, or what they call disruptive technologies. If something is happening and has been in the market for a while, say a particular product, for example, before MP3s came along, CDs were very popular, but when MP3s came along, uh, it disrupted how music was sold and distributed. So, oftentimes, when you're asked to do an analysis in a market to determine whether or not an opportunity exists, you have a few choices. Some people like to use what is called a SWOT analysis, SWOT, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Other people like to use what is called a Porter model or Porter Five Forces, and that's great. But my personal favorite, and you can do them all, or you can do one or the other. But my personal favorite is the PESTEL model. And to give you an example of what I'm talking about, or how a disruption or change in any one of these things here, P standing for political, E for economic, S for social, T for technological, E for environmental, and L for legal, just think back to what I mentioned about the MP3. When you think about it, before Apple came along and the creation of iTunes, CDs pretty much, was a way that music was pretty much sold and distributed. Remember, before then, you actually had records, okay? But what's called a disruption or a new technology came along, and all of a sudden records became obsolete. And when MP3s came along, CDs became obsolete. MP3s became the new way. And also, I don't know if you remember this or not, because of that disruption and CDs going away, a lot of record stores actually closed down, and music was started to be distributed and sold online, legally and illegally, if you remember a lot of piracy sites. But nonetheless, when you're doing a market opportunity analysis, you have to determine whether or not what you're doing, is there an opportunity for you to take advantage of some, say, political change or some economic change in the market, or some social change? People, do they like right now, social networks is a big thing, so people like meeting online as opposed to doing the blind date thing. Technology, an example of that would be the change from CD over to MP3, which was the disruption in the market, which actually led to the rise of Apple. So, and then you have environmental things can happen, like, for example, right now fracking is happening, and then you have legal. And this legal thing is actually kind of interesting to me, because some of the most well-named companies that came about from legal, what they call disruptions. For example, Charles Schwab came about from a legal disruption, and that legal disruption was in 1975. Brokers' commissions used to be regulated by the government, but a deregulation came about, or a change in the legal atmosphere, a change in the law, where Charles Schwab had an opportunity to basically charge whatever he wanted to charge. He basically conquered the market by charging lower prices. So basically, that's it. PESTEL analysis, whenever you're thinking about presenting a business, you have to look at the political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal changes in the market, or disruptions in the market, to see whether or not an opportunity exists.